Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sometimes governments make mistakes, and at that point they should realise it and go back to the drawing board. To do otherwise can look arrogant, perhaps at best, and can lead to very unfortunate outcomes, perhaps even fatal outcomes at worst. And I think the situation that we're seeing unfold in the town of Handorf in the Adelaide Hills at the moment not only looks incredibly arrogant on behalf of the government and the responsible minister, the Minister for Infrastructure and Transport, but also could lead to consequences that we don't even want to necessarily turn our minds to. The residents in Handorf and the surrounding towns, Mylor, Echunga, Jupiter Creek and Chapel Hill and beyond have every right to feel exceptionally let down and immensely worried about the Band-Aid solution that the Malinauskas Labour government has on the table in terms of how to deal with traffic movements in and around the town of Handorf. It is not ideal to have trucks going down the main street of Handorf. We know that, but the solution put in place by Minister Koutsantonis and backed to the hilt by Premier Malinauskas is far from ideal. It will see up to 130 trucks per day move down River Road in Handorf and onto Strathalbyn Road and beyond, putting immense pressure on these roads, putting at risk the lives of pedestrians and other road users and even people going about their day-to-day lives in their homes and gardens around that area. The government has said that they'll undertake upgrades to River Road, but we don't know when they will occur by, we don't know the extent of them, and we're pretty certain that the envelope of money on the table for those upgrades is nowhere near enough to undertake the widening, the shoulder sealing, the intersection enhancement and the very significant embankment building that will be required to get these roads fit for purpose. We know that the government hasn't sought advice from national bodies who could provide feedback into this. We know that the concept has been arrogantly cooked up by the department and possibly even the minister himself. It has not resulted in the right outcome. And in fact, the community outrage that we're seeing now is a direct consequence to the community being ignored. This community has not been engaged with. This community has not been brought along in the journey. They have been given a solution, and I don't think we can even use the term solution, that will not deliver for that community and will not result in safety being the primary outcome. Quite the opposite. On Sunday, Premier Malinauskas was invited to visit Handorf. He was invited to sit in a semi-trailer and move along River Road and Strathalbyn Road from Handorf to Echunga. That is an invitation that I took up. It's an invitation that the Shadow Minister took up. It's an invitation that the local member Joshua Teague took up, the member for Hyson, a strong advocate for Handorf and a leading voice in this debate. It was an invitation that the Premier chose not to take up. He was happy to stay down in Adelaide doing the usual selfies on sports fields rather than travelling to a regional community that was suffering because of his government's poor decision-making. Travelling along River Road and Strathalbyn Road in that truck made me very, very conscious of the dangers facing that community. The trucks can't go above the speed limit. They can't get anywhere near the speed limit. They will travel slowly and cautiously down that road. But even doing that will not make it safer for residents. It won't make it safer for truck drivers. It won't make it safer for other road users. This is a potential disaster for the Handorf community. It is a disaster that is directly off the Labour government's making. Their city-centric approach and their desire not to engage communities effectively. They are dripping in arrogance, and as a consequence, someone's life is going to be put at risk. I want to end by quoting local resident Emma Smith, who said that she can tell with a fair amount of certainty that there will be a fatality on this road. and her biggest fear is a logging truck going through her kid's bedroom window. Mr Speaker, it's time that this government ended the arrogance and listened to the people of Handorf.